Hey, it's Patrick from Possum Bourne Motorsport, and in front of me we've got a 2014 WRX. This is one of our recent builds that we've completed and has had a lot of work done to it. It's still running the factory turbocharger and the engine is unopened and unmodified. However, there's an extensive amount of external modifications that we've performed. This has received a Stage 6 package plus a little bit extra, and on the stock turbocharger this is the most powerful car that we've seen. When David walked into the door, he wanted to make his WRX at least as fast as an STI, ideally faster. So we've gone through a few options for him, and this car was actually built in 2 stages, where it started off as a completely 98 based build with a whole lot of bolt-on upgrades. At that time we've got the car to 242 kilowatt to the wheels, and then about 6 months later David came back to us and decided that's still not enough. He doesn't want to open the engine and he does want more power. What is the best solution? So obviously we could have gone down the road of changing the turbocharger and mixing the factory engine out. This is a very popular option, but we've decided to go for a full E85 conversion instead. This has the benefit that the engine stays nice and cool, there's less strain on it, and the E85 modification is still going to be good for David when he actually decides to install a larger turbocharger and build an engine in the future. The main brief of this upgrade package was to maximize the stock engine and turbocharger, but get it as powerful and as fast as possible. We knew when the car arrived that the EJ25 is a good platform with a lot of torque and a lot of capabilities to modify them. There's a bunch of restrictions externally that we have upgraded to achieve extra power. Let's get into a few details of what the Stage 6 upgrade package includes. The exhaust system consists of an NVIDIA high-flow downpipe with a sports catalytic converter and a Q300 catback exhaust system. The Q300 as well as the downpipe is stainless steel and the high quality great fitment. The Q300 is the slightly quieter option. This is good if you like the exhaust noise but don't want it to be too loud. If you'd like to step it up a little in the tone, then you want to consider something like a R400 or in one system. They are both a little bit louder. Under the bonnet, going over the upgrades here, we've got the cold air intake that is combined with the parent turbo intake pipe, both much larger, giving good flow to the turbocharger. We've got the process vest rear cooler here. It's much bigger unit than the factory intercooler, much more efficient, and it comes with the ducting for the bonnet, so there's good flow to the intercooler, making it as efficient as possible. The TGV deletes have also been installed. The lower section of the intake manifold meets up to these. They remove all the restrictions of the factory tumblers in there and have a straight flow through to the engine. You can also see that this corner here is fairly empty, and in the late model Subarus normally see an air pump here that is for emission control. We've also opted to remove this, simplify the system and create a bit of extra space here. They're also known to commonly fail on a lot of cars, one less thing that can go wrong. The engine is a stock EJ255 WRX that hasn't been touched, and we're running the factory VF52 turbocharger. To keep those two running reliably under that additional power, we highly recommend that you use a high quality oil. We use Motul in-house. 8100 is a minimum, or if you are more serious or you want to consider the 300V, which allows you to run higher temperatures and still have perfect lubrication. The E85 fuel system upgrades included a radium surge tank, which is fitted with a AM320 pump, and it sits in the engine bay. The upgraded fuel pump in the tank is now only there to feed the surge tank, and the surge tank is there to feed the engine. And you've got the added benefit that it prevents fuel surge if you're driving hard around the corners or on the racetrack. This radium unit also has an integrated fuel pressure regulator, which makes it a very compact unit and keeps everything in one. Injectors in this car are COP ID 1050X injectors, so about twice the size of the factory injectors, and good enough for this power level that we're running. To know what ethanol content we're running and to be able to tune the car accordingly, we're running a Zytronics Flex Fuel sensor kit, which comes with a little gauge that is installed in the cabin showing you the exact flex fuel content. So at the moment we're running E77, so pretty good considering it's from the pump. The car has been tuned with ECU Tech and our PBMS 9-step tuning process. So we've chosen ECU Tech for this car because it gives the best results, and it also offers the flex fuel tuning capabilities on the factory ECU, as well as added racerom features such as launch control, flat foot shifting and auto blip. So all fun features, and also guarantees that we are receiving a great result and a perfect tune to suit your car. Lastly, the clutch in this car has also been upgraded. It was a little weak to begin with, and also with that additional power that we're running now, it's just not up to the task. So this has got a self-bend racing clutch. It's still a single plate, and it includes a light and flywheel. With that combination, the clutch is well capable of handling that additional power. So as this car is a WRX, there is still a weak point with just the transmission. The transmission is okay for this power level if it is driven in the right manner. To strengthen it, there are a few options. Obviously, you could go down the road of a 6-speed swap, or fitting completely different internals into your gearbox to strengthen it. Both of those are expensive. If you're looking for a quicker solution to do the best you can, there's the Cayenne blast plates that can be fitted externally, and that minimizes the movement of the gearbox and strengthens it as good as possible from the outside. Now to the interesting part, and what are the results. So the factory WRX in stock trim, we've seen making around 150 kilowatt to the wheels, plus or minus. Each one is slightly different. But this car, after our initial upgrade on 98, it was making 242 kilowatt to the wheels, which is already a massive improvement. Finally, on E85, the car is now producing an impressive 270 kilowatt to the wheels, and that does make it the most powerful WRX or STI that we've tuned on the factory turbocharger. the drivability is great in this car. We're seeing nearly full boost before 3000 RPM, which makes it very responsive, super fun to drive on all the back roads, and a very usable power band. So this car doesn't drive much like the factory equivalent anymore, and you definitely notice nearly twice the power. In the noise department, we're also seeing massive improvements with a nice rumble from the NVIDIA exhaust and nice intake noises through the cold air intake. The engine department is enhanced tastefully with all the bolt-on modifications that have been fitted. Makes it look very nice and stands out in the crowd. But it's also very important to mention that all of the installed modifications are reversible, so the car can be brought back to a completely factory car. All these parts can be moved into another shell. It is important that all the modifications are performed by trained professionals and that you choose a tuner that you trust. It's also very important to use high quality parts to make sure they last and perform as they should. Additionally, when running E85, it's recommended to perform more regular oil changes as the oil degrades quicker than running a 98. So always service your car very regularly with a high quality oil, and you'll enjoy it for a long time. So in the end, I think we have achieved a very good result, and David will be pleased with how the car feels and drives. If we were to improve from the current level, we would definitely need to be looking at the turbocharger. This would be the next thing to go. But as we are quite high up in the power already, we would also need to upgrade the pump in the surge tank for a larger unit, something around like a Walbro 450 liter power pump, for example. And the factory engine internals will come to their limits. So the next stage from here is fairly complex, but with a few more modifications and a built engine, the sky is the limit. Lastly, if you are going to use the car on a track or you're driving very hard on the back roads, we definitely recommend to install a PBMS baffle sump, so oiling is not an issue and you're not running any bearings in a hurry. So if you stepped out of this car into a completely stock WRX, you couldn't believe that the engine and turbocharger are still the same. It makes such a big difference. It's a super fun car for the back roads and the racetrack, and we're very pleased with the result. If you do have a WRX or something similar and you are interested in any of these modifications, please get in touch with us. If you're just after parts, you can also check out our website at possumbournemotorsport.com, and we've got most of the parts of this build listed on our website as well. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.